We have new information in the deaths of 6 Kansas City firefighters. It concerns an explosion that happened back in 1988. Tonight, more than 30 years later, we're seeing 2 new names in a newly released Department of Justice report. Just hours after this report was released, we already have reaction from the Jackson County prosecutor. She says there should be a review given that there is no statute of limitations for murder. Here's investigative reporter Angie Riccono.
Here's the report. The names are the security guards who worked at the construction site, Donna Costanza and Deborah Riggs. These are pictures we found on social media. Their names have never been officially connected to this case until now. Before we dive into the new information, we want to explain what happened and remember who died in that explosion. James Kilvinton's father is one of 6 firefighters killed in that 1988 explosion.
He loved what he was doing. He loved being a firefighter. He died what he loved doing. All 6 of them did.
The firefighters were battling a construction fire. They had no idea a trailer contained explosives. The blast was so powerful it knocked people out of bed and moved homes off foundations. It broke a city's heart.
We are here to pay tribute to 6 very brave men.
Who was responsible remained a mystery for almost a decade. The case was even featured on Unsolved Mysteries.
There is currently a $50,000 reward being offered in this case.
Posters went up in jails. Rewards were offered for information. 5 self-described troublemakers from a nearby neighborhood were eventually arrested. They all maintained their innocence. Those offered lie detector tests passed. They turned down plea deals. Some had alibis. The case went to court. Prosecutors argued the group wanted to steal tools and set the fire as a diversion. There was no physical evidence or eyewitnesses. Criminals testified for the prosecution in exchange for deals and even cash. They claimed the group bragged about the crime. 4 men and 1 woman were convicted. But the case never really went away. The Kansas City Star dug into the fatal fire. Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter Mike McGraw questioned the convictions. His reporting revealed alternate suspects and a new motive for the crime. The newly released report confirms much of his reporting, that people interviewed by the FBI claimed a security guard wanted to burn her truck for insurance money. KCPD crime scene photos document a burned truck at the scene. This newly unredacted document reveals this important paragraph. During its review, the review team identified several newly developed pieces of information that were not previously known to the prosecution. Significantly, this newly developed information suggests that Deborah Riggs and Donna Costanza may have been involved in the arsons, in addition to, and not to the exclusion of the defendants.
So it seemed like an important case to me to dig into.
Attorneys at Shook, Hardy and Bacon fought years for the information, saying transparency matters. Attorneys for the people convicted agree.
I think it matters because we want to know what happened. We want to know who's responsible for what, for the explosions that night.
3 people remain in prison. Earl Shepard died. Brian Shepard was freed due to new federal sentencing guidelines.
I hope that it does help them. You know, they deserve to be out here just like I am.
It's unclear what this new information will mean for those who remain in prison, and the guards now named in this Department of Justice report.
And I think no one has really had an opportunity to put it all together. And now's the time. Let's put it all together and see what we have.
If you were curious about what happened to the guards, we wondered too. A combination of public records and Facebook gave us some answers. Donna Costanza now lives in Brooklyn. We reached out to her for comment, but didn't hear back. Deborah Riggs appears to be a grandmother living in Texas. We previously flew to Texas and knocked on her door, and we reached out to her again now that she's named in a report. We haven't heard back.
Angie Racono, KC TV5 News.